Welcome to day 540 of our Web3 journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother Brian. And remember, these videos are being sponsored by NFT Tech. They are an investor in DeSoFi, the Web3 mobile app built on the DeSo blockchain. So, Brian, before we get to some of the DeSo news today, what's going on? What's the latest with the White House crypto framework? I know there's been some input from others.
Yeah, so we mentioned it yesterday that the White House released this framework for regulating crypto. No actual regulations, just a framework, and it's gotten a lot of heat from some within the crypto space. Others have been kind of like, well, I mean, it's legitimizing crypto. Binance CEO actually weighed in, and the Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao, he weighed in on the White House crypto framework just yesterday, and he actually commended it. He said that the report released by the Biden administration actually is something that he welcomes, and he said that it's great to see the U.S. moving towards a proposed crypto framework. Getting it right will help protect consumers, markets, and spark responsible innovation. The US's whole of government approach to crypto regulation will bring much needed consistency and clarity versus the current patchwork of state laws and regulations that govern the space currently. So he's embracing it, and that's I I kind of take the same approach. I think that having a framework kind of legitimizes crypto. It gives companies kind of a framework to work around. Uh, it is interesting to note that Zhao's comments might just represent an attempt by Binance and himself to sort of curry favors from regulatory officials around the globe. I know he was in Europe and he was complimenting the European regulators as well. So you can't read too much into it because obviously running one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world, you need these regulators to be on your side. So if he came out and attacked them, I don't think it will be good for him either. But we'll see. We'll see where it leads.
I think that when you put regulations on these companies, it's kind of like a relief in some ways because they don't have to be guessing or be constantly be afraid. Oh, is the SEC going to come after us for this? Is the Trade Commission going to come after me for this? Now I think with framework out and eventually if they actually do put certain regulation in effect, they know what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. So I think it kind of like has a calming effect for the
Yeah.
CEOs of these companies. And it could be the Biden administration comes out and says we're declaring Bitcoin and cryptos to be scams. We're not going to recognize them whatsoever. And anybody dealing with them, we're going to do all that we can to shut you down or curtail you from doing any business in regards to crypto. So
Right.
I think this is a relief to some people that thought, okay, could this one day happen where they kind of come and say we're just shutting everything down.
Right.
So moving on, I just want to address something. So we talked a lot about the drama on DeSo yesterday and how some people were upset by the way that the core team handled a few things. And apparently Dylan Jagger Lee and some other core team members were receiving some threats, I guess you could say. Like somebody like so Dylan Jagger Lee made a post. He said that he woke up to post tagging him saying that Dylan should die or Dylan should be fired. And I just think it's sad and pathetic that people resort to this kind of thing just because you disagree with what someone's doing or what a team of people are doing. Um, you know, we know it's super rare in DeSo for anything like this to happen, but I think as the community does grow and as it potentially explodes with these new things that DeSo is releasing in the coming months ahead, I think it's going to be up to the community to kind of police itself because we are on the blockchain. It's always going to rely more on community policing rather than the typical platform policing like you see with Twitter or Facebook. So I think the community is going to kind of have to get together and say what is okay and what's not okay. And the community, I think the community's voice is going to be the most important thing when it comes to threats and content that's not appropriate being posted on the blockchain. And then ultimately it's going to come down to node levels as well. But like Brian and I, we block people if we think somebody's like making threats, or if we think somebody's posting content that's just ridiculous and shouldn't be on here, we do block them. I think we probably blocked like 2 people on all of DeSo in the year plus we've been here. But it's okay to disagree with something, something that Core does. It's okay to disagree, but you have to know that everything that Core is doing is what they believe to be in the best interest of DeSo and in the best interest of the community. I think that's all we can ask for them at this point in time, is that they do what they believe is best. We don't have to agree with them. We don't agree with everything that they do. Like, for example, the swap identity that we talked about yesterday. We don't agree with how that was handled, but to think that Natter or the core team did that maliciously, or did that because they want to ruin the community, is just ignorant. Natter's doing what he thinks is best for the DeSo community, as is everybody on the core team. I think, criticism's okay. Criticisms should be encouraged, actually, and debate should be encouraged. But when it comes to personal attacks and threats, that should never be acceptable, in my opinion.
Yeah, and as you know, like we were on Twitter, we were in political Twitter for about 3 years. We had over 1 million followers, and we got so many heated threats. We got so many crazy things happen to us. We had somebody call on a bomb threat at the international airport under my name. We had piles of letters, stacks of letters sent to us, and like, I mean, here's just some. They look like greeting cards, but inside they say
You
some
should open one
pretty
up and
pretty
read it.
nasty
Why don't you open
things.
up?
And it's just, we had pictures of like our heads in the crosshairs, like threats, like to our family, and it's just stupid. It accomplishes nothing. It
I
can
think
get
it's
you
I
in
think it's kind
major
of
legal trouble.
interested. I think it's kind of interesting that you collect these things, Brian.
Yeah, well,
Come on out.
I feel a little disgusting touching them because I'm sure these people like wipe their butt with it, but they've been in this bag for like 4 years, so I think they're safe now. And I held them because that's what the police said to do. They said hold on to them, and we can't really do much to track it down, but uh, if something happens, you have some sort of evidence. But yeah,
Yeah. So be
I
good.
think
Be good
that
people.
I think that people need to chill out. People take things so personally. Like when we were talking politics on Twitter, like we would never personally attack anybody. And just by giving your opinion, you would get so many personal attacks back at you. And usually that's the sign of a weak person, somebody without an argument, somebody that's feeling bad about themselves. You don't just attack some random person and jump to the conclusion that they're a horrible person just because you disagree with them. So we totally feel how Dylan feels here. And I'm sure there's going to be more people getting threats and more people getting personally attacked on the blockchain, but you just gotta realize that this isn't the way to go. This isn't going to solve anything. Attacking others doesn't solve anything. Talking and discussing matters, and doing things like Big Mike did, and coming out and releasing a video giving his opinion in a respectful way. That's how you tackle problems and find solutions. You don't do it by threatening people.
And it's super rare. You don't see threats on DeSo every day. Like I don't think I've seen any up until this instance. So it's definitely not something that's common on DeSo.
Yeah.
So moving
Yeah.
on to
So
better things. Should we move on, or you still have more to say?
let's move on. Yeah. So Natter made a post yesterday about his excitement for the month ahead. He wrote, excited for everything that's launching in the coming weeks. It feels like we have a whole quarter of work dropping in a month's time. And I think that's the case. I think that they're going to be dropping a whole heck of a lot in the coming month. Uh, I know that some other projects as well, like some of the people building on DeSo have some pretty exciting things they're dropping probably within the next month or two as well. I know NFTZ's dropping something pretty exciting very, very soon. But yeah, this has me pumped.
Yeah, and with that, also the DeSo creators account is going to start highlighting one DeSo creator a week for the community. So you're going to be able to learn about a certain creator each week, and then you can follow them, engage with them, give them diamonds. I think this is a good idea. We kind of saw it in the past. Like I guess it's been a couple months now where they're started highlighting some individuals. But I think if they can be consistent with this, it's going to be go a long way to kind of get people interested and learn more about other individuals on the DeSo blockchain.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as we see an influx of new users, it's important to highlight some of these people as well. Uh, but also, the DeSo ecosystem update was released yesterday. It was emailed out to everybody that was part of the email list. And it talked a lot about the Masari mainnet. It said that DeSo will release some big news during that event. The first is the new protocol for testing and executing network upgrades. And the second, of course, is the big social layer fork that's going to enable the integration of MetaMask, which I'm really excited about. I think could be big for the whole ecosystem. Next, I think next week they're gonna make a better looking roadmap that's more aesthetically appealing that they can release at Masari, and I think that's gonna kind of put everything they put out, but do it so in a way that people can better understand, especially those away from the DeSo blockchain. And the next 2 months will be fun and exciting. The overview said that they sent out. Uh, they also said something really interesting. It said you may even get more exciting news at the end of October or early November. So I don't know what that could be. So that's probably about a month and a half away.
That's
Hopefully it's
when
something big.
that's when Elon's going to be building his social network built on the DeSo blockchain.
Ah, that's what it is. Okay, well that makes sense. It kind of coincides with this case, right? The Twitter Elon case.
Yeah.
And also Gem Story was mentioned with their updates, as well as the Social World, who shared their roadmap. They mentioned them, so it was a good update. I like how they email these updates every week, and it's a great way to stay informed.
Yeah, and Ash Diso, he elaborated more about Masari, and he said he actually walked the Masari biz development guy through Diso's apps, and he said this man or woman was, well, he said guy, so I guess it's a man, was quote blown away. So that's exciting. Mainnet is taking place from September 21st through the 23rd in New York City. And Diso's going to have a booth. We talked about this before. Diso's going to have a booth there, and Natter's going to be giving a talk on Friday the 23rd. So that's this coming Friday, the 23rd of September. If you're in New York, definitely try and listen to Natter's speech. There's going to be a lot of press there, so I think there's going to be a ton of attention, and Diso has a chance to really earn some of that publicity.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great event for DeSo, especially given that they're rolling out the MetaMask integration and some other features that I think we're going to be seeing in the next few weeks.
Yep. So Mossified made a really interesting post. It was a long, long post, which was super informative and, like I said, very interesting. He talked about how DeSo is one of just a handful of layer ones that actually have utility for their native currencies. So, there's a lot of cryptocurrencies out there that have cryptocurrencies, but there's no actual use for those cryptocurrencies. Not too many use their currencies in a meaningful way. Emulsified said, I think, diamonds, NFTs, creator coins, royalties, transactions for posting, all those are super meaningful ways of using the cryptocurrency, the DeSo cryptocurrency. He also talked about the decentralization of the internet and how it's going to be huge. It's going to open the door to so many more people than just the people who are interested in crypto for financial reasons. He said DeSo has the potential to bring crypto to the masses, and that social is just one single use case of DeSo. He didn't really get into detail of what the other use cases are, but I think this is referring to DeSo vaults, which we talked about last week, and also DeSo websites, which are
Yeah,
all
and
going to
DAO
be
DAO as well.
yeah, which are all going to be decentralized. So you can have your files stored in a decentralized manner. You can have a website that is on the internet and completely decentralized. So I think that's the future, and he envisions this being the future, and he envisions this is what's going to actually bring the masses into the crypto space.
Yeah, and it was a great post. If you have a chance to go back and read it, I know it's on the screen. It was on the screen here, but
And it's linked to.
you might not have been able to read the whole thing that quickly. So definitely check it out. Malsified is a wealth of knowledge. It's great to just communicate with him and just listen to what he has to say because he has a lot to say, and it's usually a lot of really informative information.
Yeah, and just look above this video on DeSo or below this video on YouTube, and you can click on the link that goes directly to his post.
Yeah, so I want to get to the top 10 NFT bidders, those who bid on the most NFTs on the DeSo blockchain over the last 24 hours, according to NFTZ. They are as follows: Eat Green Apples, Big Mike R35, Spunk Art, Meta Philosopher, Randier, BitClout FR, Krasenstein, which is us, Mizuo Semla, La Big Mac, and that 70s robot. And the top Diamond creators over the last 24 hours, thanks to our friends at Base, these people received the most diamonds or tips on their posts and their comments over the last day. They are as follows: Spunk Art, Krasenstein, which is us, Dylan Jagger Lee, who we spoke about earlier, Natter, Goldberry, Clout, Sprain, Miami, Japan, Happy Rabbit, Big Mike R35, and Mossified.
Congratulations, and everybody have a great rest of your Saturday, and we will talk to you tomorrow.